Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This would be the start of a new series of 5 videos that would be discussing a new opening system. Today we will be studying the cross palace cannon opening. Now this is different from C2 equals to 4, which is known as the Pell corner cannon opening. Now because the cannon is still placed at the palace corner, but it has crossed the palace. It is called a cross palace cannon, or 过宫炮 in Chinese. Uh, with this opening, red tries to concentrate material targeting black's flank very early in the game. And this is not a new opening. It has been around for centuries, and it can be found in some of the ancient manuals. Now, this is considered an orthodox opening, but it's not so commonly seen as compared to the central cannon or pawn opening. In theory, uh, because of one of the characteristics of the cross palace cannon opening is that red's material would be developed very slowly, and sometimes this would go against the intentions of red playing a quick and rapid development of his pieces for attack. And black would have ample much time to formulate his defense, but this opening has caught on. In the book, the authors do not seem to like this opening system very much, and there were some criticisms. Nevertheless, I play this opening occasionally. It's quite fun, but one issue is that red would have to be careful of congestion in this flank, and he would have to be very careful of attacks by black from the central, especially the central file. Now, there are several counters to the cross palace cannon opening, but only two were discussed in the book. And the first was c8 equals to 5. The second would be playing h8 plus 7, which will be discussed in future videos. So, this counter by black has been around since the Ming Dynasty, about the 16th or 17th century. Because red had played the cross palace cannon, red would start his attack immediately targeting the central file. This is quite a nice opening, and which has prospered for a long time. And with the central cannon, black would choose to adopt the approach of offense being the best defense. Now, before we continue, for beginners, it would not be a good idea to play c2 equals to 5. Instead, the cannon on the same flank is moved, because if this were played, red would have the opportunity to play c6 plus 5 later on for a skewer if black plays the proper horse. So usually that is why c8 equals to 5 is played and not c2 equals to 5 is played. So h2 plus 3 to protect the central pawn, h8 plus 7. And red will play r1 equals to 2 to develop his chariot as a foul chariot. Now, another option would be to play the advisor followed by elephant and develop the chariot as a kingside chariot. So, for example, another method would be to play, for example, let's say, Red would develop his chariot as a kingside chariot. Now, this was one of the variations that was discussed in a recent article on the topic back in the 2000s. Yeah. I have the article translated on my site, and please feel free to go over it. Okay, so r1 equals to 2, and because red had played r1 equals develop his chariot as a foul chariot, black would develop his chariot as a rank chariot, and because of the cross palace cannon, one of the most important targets would be to play r9 equals to 4 to attack this cannon. Another effective black counter would be to play h2 plus 3 to consolidate his central file and prepare to launch an attack from the central file. Red would rapidly rapidly advance his chariot across the river. This is somewhat similar to the same direction cannons, except for the cross balance cannon. Now, the idea behind this move is to slow down the development of Black's horse, so that Black, uh, Black's attack would not be so fast. So as mentioned earlier, R9 equals to 4 to target the cross balance cannon, and A4+5 is played. In the past, A6+5 was played so that Red would have the option of retreating his cannon over here if need be to consolidate this file. However, modern day modern day opening theory suggests that A4+5 would be a better a better move. The old school method would be A6+5, but A4+5 would provide more defense for Red. Now, this would be the position of discussion. So there are two main variations that were given in the book. The first would be P7+1, variation A, and the other would be H2+3. Now again, the moves or the variations given are quite similar to some of the variations in the same direction cannon's opening system. The moves were probably inspired by them. So let us go to variation A. P7+1, variation A. R2 equals to 3 to prevent or limit the development of this horse. And Black could actually instigate or play H2+3. Now, this is a very important move for Red to make P7+1. He cannot capture the horse. Let's say if Red captured the horse, Black would immediately deliver a check, and Black would have a very huge advantage because the chariot, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, but Black will have 2 chariots, and losing a chariot so early in the game is not a good idea. So that is why Black chose to play H2+3. And as mentioned in the book, P7+1 is a crucial move that Red must make to slow down the development of the black pieces. H8+9 would be a bad idea because consolidate defense. Again, this would be somewhat similar to the same direction cannons because Red had already fortified his central file. A discovered check is not possible. Black would now retreat his cannon, use somewhat to something of the screen horse defense. H8+7 to target the horse, dislodging the red chariot. And then Black could offer a trade of material with H3+4. Usually Red would not want this to happen, but as can be seen by the 11th ply, the red chariot had been moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So it accounted for almost half of Red's moves, and this would mean a loss in tempo. And Black would simply play H4+3. He would not have to be afraid of Red making this move because he could gain back lost material immediately. So that is why this is a very important move to make, and Red should not try to develop his horse as an edge horse at this point. And as can be seen from here, after a trade of material, Black's pieces are very, very active. Red is still left with a congested left flank. So the advantage to Black is obvious. So Black would, with P7+1, Red would retreat his cannon again, preparing to play C5 equals to 7. Red would take the opportunity to develop his horse as a proper horse. And Black at this time would play C5 equals to 7. However, it will appear that r4+1 would have been a better option, whereby Black would consolidate his cannon rank, which is also known as the deployment rank in Xiangqi. Now, because of c5 equals to 7, Red would now play h3, r3 equals to 4, and develop his left flank. And because p7+1 was played, Black would not have h3+4. 1 equals to 2. And after trading material, Red would have managed to obtain a very firm and powerful position, and he would have an easy time ahead. So these were the moves that were given for variation A, p7+1. Now, in variation B, h2+3 was played immediately instead of pushing the pawn. This would appear to be an even better counter for Black. Red would capture the pawn, threaten the horse. Again, Black would play p3+1, not fearing the carried from attacking the horse. And Red would consolidate his defense so that the discovered check wouldn't be no more. The threat of discovered check would be no more. c5-1, h8+9. And as mentioned in the previous variation, r4+1 will be a good idea at this point in time, whereby Black would strengthen and fortify his cannon rank. It would be a bad idea to play c5 equals to 7, which is similar to the previous variation. And we would have the advantage. If the horse moved, it will be an awkward situation, and this horse will not have many good places to move later on. So r4+1 will be a good idea, whereby Black would strengthen the cannon rank and use his cannon to dislodge or attack Black's files. So if c8+2 is usually played, the main idea is to play c8 equals to 3 to target this file. And to a certain extent, r4+1 was also played in anticipation of this move. So Black would be faster in dislodging the chariot, offering a trade of chariots. And Black would now focus his material on this flank, a trade of material. Black would take the opportunity to trade, because if he traded material, Red would gain an extra move and be prepared to charge the pawn across the river. Black would be forced to defend, but in doing so, Red would be faster in developing the chariot. So r1+1, knight 8, defense, and after trading material, it will be an even situation for both colors. So this is the first opening Tabia that was given in the book. Now let us review the game from the eyes of in the eyes of Black. Okay. So the cross palace cannon, central cannon, file chariot, rank chariot, Red attacks, r9 equals to 4, a4+5, and p7+1, variation A, r2 equals to 3, and Black would develop both horses as proper horses, not fearing Red capturing the horse. p7+1, an important move to make, so that p3+1 cannot happen. Retreating the cannon, dislodging the chariot, defense. Now e7+5 is the only move viable because the chariot had blocked the other elephant, and this will also allow the cannon to retreat if need be, offering a trade-off material. And this will basically be a very firm and stable position for both colors. The chances of a draw are relatively high. Variation B, h2 plus 3. Again, black will knock back off and choose to push the pawn forward, retreating the cannon. And this very important move, which is very crucial for black to consolidate his position. So after c8 plus 2 to play c8 equals to 3, dislodging the red chariot. Now this move is played, otherwise red will play r4 plus 2 to threaten the cannon and gain a good space. So this is one very important move for for black to defend against. So after trading, black will refuse to trade material. And after some maneuvering and exchange of material, it will be an even situation for both colors. So I hope you've enjoyed this first video on the cross palace cannon. Actually, it's quite a fun opening, and if black did not counter correctly, red can build up a huge advantage. Thank you, and if you do like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up for the video. Thank you.